Over the last 65 years, my grandfather's spent most of that time hidden in the attic up there, building something truly insane. This is going to blow your mind. He's got so much stuff.
That's almost the problem.
Could this be the biggest model railway in the UK? And it lies in the attic of the Manor. This is my grandfather's life's work and his biggest passion. This is Chavenage's model railway. This is my grandfather's 50+ year project. It's a model railway that goes throughout the entire attic of the house. 8 rooms it goes through. It's absolutely enormous. And it all started when my grandfather took on the house. He had young children and he had a developing hobby, which was this model railway. He started it in the library, and my grandmother said you can't leave your model railway in the library. You've got to move it somewhere more permanent. So he found a home for it in the attic, and it's grown to be absolutely ginormous. Now, he didn't do it on his own. He had one co-contributor, that was William Russell, who was really good at the electronics and the more fiddly areas of the model railway. But it's literally left here. It's gathered dust, it hasn't been used in 10, 15 years, and I've got an absolute mission to try and breathe some life back into it. I want to see what this thing is. I want to see what the model railway entails. I want to see if it even works, what all the electronics do, and just get a gauge to see what we've actually got here. So I've enlisted in a professional, someone who knows more about railways than I could ever imagine. And hopefully we can see what this enormous model railway is all about.
All I inherited was an unhealthy obsession for trains. Oh wow, it goes all the way down there as well. I literally have to crawl.
This is Alex, a train enthusiast who's amassed over 430,000 followers. If anyone's going to know anything about this model railway, it's going to be Alex. Alex, welcome to Chavenage. What do you think?
Blown away, to be honest. I've never seen anything quite like it. We don't have much of this up north, you know.
Do you not?
No, nothing this grand.
So we've done a little bit of a tour.
Yeah.
You've got a lay of the land.
Yes.
We've done kind of the main bottom rooms, but that's not really why you're here.
No, I can't contain my excitement, really.
I actually can't wait to take you, because I've actually never taken a train enthusiast up there, and I know nothing about it. So I'm hoping that you're going to be able to shine some light on the model railway that's lived in the attic for over 70 years. And it could be something that you think's rubbish.
Okay.
But it could be something that you think's all right.
Yeah, well, no pressure then.
No pressure.
No
So
pressure
I think
at all.
it's about time we kind of weave our way through the house.
Yep.
Up some stairs, through some corridors, and into the attic.
I think that sounds good.
I hope you're gonna like it. Right, follow me this way. My grandmother wouldn't let him spend that much money on his model railway.
Right.
He used to come in the door,
Yeah.
sneak his way with all his model railways, like in a carrier bag, and then shoot up here. So it's always locked because
Right.
no one goes up here.
So no matter where you come from or who you are, model railway people are all the same, realistically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you know, my granddad would do the same thing. So
Just hide away. You've got every train mag under the sun there.
well, he was a Hornby fan then. See, this I'm already learning about him. Yeah, this is very grand. Oh wow, it goes all the way down there as well.
Oh no, it goes through every room.
And then that is very, very impressive. This is like a railway modeller's dream, because I think realistically the only thing that inhibits a railway modeller is space. This is the biggest attic railway I've ever seen, but this is probably the biggest attic I've ever been in.
Yes.
So,
Ow, my back! Watch your back.
I literally have to crawl. Oh yeah. To be able to put power to a railway of this size is quite a feat. To have it all running, because I'm sure he'll have had to, you know, put power leads everywhere. Yeah, there's just cables and cables and cables underneath.
So he said it took 9 minutes for a train to get round.
Yeah, wow.
Between 9 and 15 minutes.
The railway my granddad had, it was like this. You just did all your sort of manual switching yourself. But with a railway this size, you couldn't get away with that. You'd be running around like a madman just
trying to switch.
So can you see here, this is a capacitor in here. And what happens is when you press a button, it goes trunk and it'll switch it over to a different track. And generally they're all controlled from there, which is that switch box. So he didn't have to then go around the back of there and start fiddling. He could have just done everything from this switchboard.
Em was worried you were going to be disappointed with my grandfather's showing.
No, honestly, for a train enthusiast, I mean, I'm not the biggest railway modeler, you know, but even for me, you know, my granddad had one in his spare room and he just said, no one can come round to my house anymore. You've got to sleep. Well, we could, but we had to sleep in the living room on a sofa bed. And he just made the whole spare room a layout of Sands End up in Yorkshire. And it was amazing. And I used to spend all my time up there. So that brings me back to times with him, you know. And
love that.
But his was probably the size of this bit of the room. It didn't go on for like 300 yards down there. So, you know, it's a little bit different, but it's all the same, isn't it? It's the same love and it's the same passion. It's people who, and the thing is, he spent years and years in this without really wanting any reward or anything, just to enjoy himself and have time. Like this will have took him, you know, I'd say, if you said to me, right, build this had took me, with him working and doing everything else, this took me a good year just to do this room. Dust is the enemy of these sort of things. And being up here in the attic, although it's a great escape and a great space, the dust settles on the tracks, the dust settles in the wheels. And
so
then
I have got a plan.
Are you going to move it? Okay.
What do you think?
I think you've got your work cut out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even if I got like a whole army of train enthusiasts?
Well, you could do it, yeah, but what my thought on the whole thing is, where this has been specifically designed for this space. So with these tracks, when you take them apart, they're all going to be sort of moulded to have been in here. So you could do it, but it would be a really big job. But it depends where you want to move it to. If you could move it to a big open space, that is,
like a squash court.
Yeah.
I've got a squash court.
But would the squash court be long enough? Think how far down there that goes and how far down there that goes.
Yeah, I don't actually have a spare manor.
Yeah, you could have done with inheriting too. Yeah, all I inherited was an unhealthy obsession for trains, but you know, I've never seen anything like it in all my years of.
Really?
You know, yeah, nothing like this, nothing to this extreme, and it must have took him so long.
I mean, yeah, best part of 60 years.
Yeah, you can tell there's 60 years worth of work into it, and.
Mental, really.
Yeah, maybe another 60 and you might have it looking like.
So I didn't actually realise we had power to the attic. Now Seb, our cameraman, has just found the power switch. Yeah. So now we're live.
Okay.
Do you reckon there's any chance that this thing would work?
We can try.
Do you reckon?
We can definitely try. We can mess with a few switches and hope for the best and see what happens.
And then, what scale is this? Another question that I always get is to what scale is the train set or the model railway? Because he always used to get cross if I called it a train set.
Yeah. So this is double O gauge. So you have
double O gauge.
You have N gauge, which is your smallest. Well, it's not actually, because I made a YouTube video on the smallest model railway you've ever seen. But in real terms, in what people really model, you've got N gauge, which is your smaller one, and then you've got double O gauge, which is this, and this is the most common sort of UK gauge. This is what we've all grown up on, like all them train sets you get as kids. Yeah. Not model railways, train sets that you get as kids. Yeah. They always come in double O, and then you have O gauge, which is, you know, bigger. About that big, and usually they use that for sort of like garden railways. Like people have them in the gardens going around. My granddad had one in his, so. But O gauge gets more expensive. So, and funnily enough, N gauge, which is the smaller gauge, is also more expensive. Really? Because this is the most common. It's the sort of lowest cost that you can get, and you can get parts everywhere. So it made sense to make something this big in this gauge just for the sake of cost, really.
Would you say there's value in this?
the value in it is the value that you have in it. I think the value in this is just the fact that it's probably one of the biggest layouts I've ever seen in my life. I think that's what the value is. I think if you chopped it all up and tried to sell it for parts,
You wouldn't get much out of
it
it.
wouldn't be worth value. But the fact that your grandfather spent so long and built so many different scenes as well, because even if you did nothing to these scenes and just sort of left them as they are, they'd still be incredible, you know, just to see that history and what he built. And I think the value, without getting too cheesy, is in there.
I like that. I like that. It's all about heart here.
It is, yeah.
Right, should we see if we can get this thing going?
Yeah.
So you've turned on a few switches.
Yep, I have done.
I've never seen this working
No.
since my grandfather kept me from this because he thought as a kid I would like break it.
So how long do you think since this has been turned on?
Over 15 years. There's a tour going down. There's literally a tour of people going around the house below us. This is what it must feel like, you know, having loads of people around the house and my grandfather just scurrying away like.
Well, you can understand why he hid away. I'd
Yeah.
much rather be up here playing
Would
with
you?
trains
Yeah.
than I would be trying to entertain 50 people.
Our challenge now is tracking down the parts we need to get this up and running. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot harder than we expected.
God, there's a lot of stuff here.
There's a lot of stuff.
So what my grandfather said is that because the thing was so vast and he could never find anything, he just bought everything new. So he would go and buy. So he's got this like 150 of the same screwdrivers because he just couldn't find them all.
And that's why he's got 3 super glues.
And they're all non-open. You know?
But yeah, but all this paint, that's the other thing that you've got to take into account, is it's not just building, it's art as well. Like he'll have painted all these, and you know, he's stuck all these structures here on, and then he'll have painted all these to make it look more sort of realistic. It's the thing is, right, these things are finicky at best of times, and with it being sat for 15 years.
So how do you know what line? So that sounds like it's wanting to go.
It does want to go.
If that goes, I am going to eat my hat. I've never wanted a train to move in all my life.
Go on, baby. There you go.
No way!
Yeah, so she needs work. It needs work, but it works.
I think I might cry.
Oh.
That is mad.
There you go. There you go.
Couldn't understand why Grandpa called it Swinton Main Central. I think he was meant to be Swindon. There's me guessing.
We spent the next 2 hours cleaning, checking, testing,
That is mad.
and testing again until we finally found a section of track that ran smoothly all these years later. Now, none of this would have been possible without Alex's expertise. And get this, Alex even told me his grandfather drove the Hogwarts Express in Harry Potter. Wild.
So, as with any railway, minor complications all over the shot. The 9F, bless it, has seen better days. Its clutch has gone, and it doesn't seem to want to do a whole lot. So we're just going to see if this little shunter, for the sake of a beautiful shot, a YouTube shot, will pull this down here. So let's see. And this will be James's granddad's railway running take 1.
That's freaking amazing. That is so, do you know what? Just seeing that move is absolutely insane.
And there she goes again. Wow. This moment was incredibly emotional. All those years my grandfather spent building it, slowly chipping away. But for so long it's been sat there gathering dust. And now, for the first time in 15 years, she runs.
Thanks, mate. That's amazing. Appreciate that.
No.
That's so cool. Alex,
Yeah.
you've made all my dreams come true.
Well, I'm happy that I could be of assistance.
Well, no, genuinely, it's been insane. Like, just to hear your passion, actually see the move, learn a bit about the trains. I've been up here, you know, for the last 30 years and not known anything.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually realise there was even power. So to come up here, to get the trains going,
Yeah.
is really freaking amazing. So
cool.
yeah, massive thank you. And when it comes back to like, what do we do with this? Now I've seen it go.
Yeah.
I think a challenge would be getting a full loop in.
Yes. Yeah.
And that can be something we can move on forward with other train enthusiasts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the thing, is there's a lot of potential here with it. You know, there's a lot of cleaning and like you say, you have a job. So it's, but yeah, it's definitely, I mean, the last time I would have got something like this working and going properly was probably my granddad's, and I'd have been about 14 at the time. So, you know, it is harking back to like, you know, 18 years since I've done anything like this. But as it shows, it's like riding a bike. You just get,
you
get back on and make them go again.
You cracked on and linked up the trains, because like I didn't realise there was to get a line powered, you had to make it sure it all linked properly. But I think that would be a great target for the channel, would be to see if we can get,
if you can get it running round the whole thing once.
And I cleaned out everything.
Yeah.
And I understood like what trains worth keeping, what trains were.
Well, that's another thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You've got 20 locos just in this one spot.
Mental.
Like, and that's not to mention the whole rest of the attic. See, you've got so much stuff here, you know, and probably a lot of it needs a bit of a service and a clean, but there's so much potential. And, you know, for other enthusiasts who are probably more into it than I am, you know, they'd love to, you know, see this and have a go and have a fiddle like I have. So, yeah.
So if you're a train enthusiast and you have seen this model railway and you've seen Alex, make sure you follow him, by the way, on his social media platforms. We'll leave them in the description below. But let us know in the comment section below if you'd like to see more of this train set, and if model railway, or if you want to kind of like help try and get this thing back going, because it would be so cool to create a little bit of a team,
definitely,
of train enthusiasts to see if we can try and get this thing to life.
Well, there's enough of them out there, so
Well,
I'm sure you'll find a few. Yeah, definitely.